Good morning and welcome to Online Finite Math. So the point of this welcome video is to go over basically how this course is going to work and give you some important information that you'll use throughout the semester. So when you log in, you'll see all this stuff here. You can get to the syllabus by clicking on this link or clicking up here on syllabus. So let's take a quick look at that. One thing that I will say is make sure that when you go to get the software, you go by clicking on the My Lab and Mastering link. What you don't want to do is get the software through Pearson first, because then it makes it harder to link to the course. So I'll talk about how to get the software for this course here in a little bit. But you can see here's my contact info. The best way to reach me is going to be through this email. This will go directly to my email, which I can access from my phone. The phone number actually goes to my office, which I only get that if I'm in my office when you call. So please use email. That's going to be your quickest way to hear back from me. I do have office hours on campus if you would like to come by to those. Okay, if we kind of scroll down through here, there's a whole bunch of stuff on here. One thing that's important to notice though is the ISBN is the code for how you would find this book if you got it from the bookstore. Now I say book, but you don't actually get a hard copy of the book. You get an ebook online. So really, you don't really want this. You would do this one just to get the access code, because the access code comes with that. Some people think this is the code to type in to get the book when you're on My Math Lab, but that code you have to purchase an access code, so that's not included in the cost of the course. So make sure you go, and don't even worry about these. If you go through this link, you won't even have to deal with that. So once again, that's how you'll get to My Lab Mastering. Okay, a bunch of syllabus stuff here. We can kind of go through that. The neat thing here is at the end of the syllabus, we have the course summary. So this is all the stuff that's on the calendar, and you can see every Sunday night there's a block of assignments due. So the first one's going to be due Sunday the 10th, then Sunday the 17th, and so forth. Now, a cool thing you can do is if I want to do homework 1, I can click on it from the syllabus, and it takes me straight into Pearson. Right? And then I can go through here and do the assignments. So that's kind of a neat way to access your assignments just through the syllabus. The other way to access the assignments would be if you go to modules, then you can go down, to the homework for module 1, click on that, and that takes you there as well. Okay, so lots of ways to access it. Syllabus is a nice way. Another way is just to go straight to My Lab and Mastering. So the first thing you'll want to do when you open up this website and after you listen to this video, we click on My Lab and Mastering. Now for me, it takes me to this screen because I've already registered. From here, you should have an option to either buy the software or use a 14-day free trial. Afterwards, you would have to buy the software. So if you are at a position where you can buy it right now, do that. If you need the 14 days, do that. But you would click on that. You would buy an access code, put that in, and then you're completely linked up and good to go. All right, so that's the first thing you do is click on this tab right here, purchase the book, then you're off and running. If we just go back to an assignment, let's go to module 2, for example. We can go to learning activities, and they have some reading assignments and some example videos and some lecture notes. Ideally, in a perfect world, you would go through all this stuff first. Most students go straight to the homework assignments first and come back to this later. It's really up to you how you want to approach that. I think click on this real quick. All the reading assignments are in PowerPoint form. So let me open up one of these. These are very good PowerPoints. Oftentimes, if there's a topic that I can't remember how to do because there's lots of stuff going on, I go through these and refresh myself on them. So I would definitely go through the PowerPoints first. Just kind of go through it, get an idea of what's going on, just kind of read through it. Maybe don't go through it in tons of detail, but go through it, just get familiar. And this so you can kind of know where all the examples are and where all the text is. And then you can always come back once you kind of know where everything is here. Some of this you probably already know how to do, method of substitution, that one. Okay, but there's all sorts of examples in here, notes, and this is kind of the way the textbook is set up, is as a series of PowerPoint slides. So that is a good resource. So make sure you know where they are so you can get to them if you have trouble with the assignments. So that's that. One thing I want to point out too is with the links, there is, if you go to My Lab and Mastering, you can go to the All Assignments, and this is another spot where you can get to all the homeworks and quizzes and practice tests and whatnot. Now, as far as I know, all the links work really well. If you find the link to be broken, go straight to this page here, and all these links should work just fine. So what I mean by a broken link is if you go to, say you're at the syllabus, and let's say you click on, quiz 8.2, and it doesn't take you here. Like it takes you, it says, link's broken. That's when you would go into My Lab and Mastering and get there through the All Assignments. But all these work just fine. The only ones I've noticed having problems are the practice tests. So if you go to practice test, where are your practice tests? Practice test. Oh, I don't even see the practice test. Oh, they're at the end here. Yeah, the practice tests are weird. Like they didn't come in where I want them to, so you have to find them down here. And if you click on practice test, can't find the link, so it's being weird. So that's when you would go to My Lab and Mastering, go to All Assignments, and then you can go find the practice tests here. So for some reason, you can start it from there. So for some reason, practice tests are weird, so get to those through that way. If anything else seems to not be working, always let me know. Send me an email, and I can see if there's a way we can fix that. But that can at least get you to the assignment. Another thing that's important to know is the midterm and final. So if you look at the calendar now, this is a nice tab to see when stuff is due as well. You'll notice that here's our first week of class. Ooh, let me get rid of some of these other classes. Okay, so here's the first day of class, and then your first assignments are due on the 10th. Next on here, next on here. And then that fourth week, so we have 1, 2, 3, here's the fourth week. You have what's called a midterm week. So you can take the midterm on the 25th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 30th, or you can take it on the July 1st. So anytime during that week, you would schedule the exam and take that. Okay, now there's two options for taking your exam. And same thing on the finals. You have this entire week and that day. So that whole week, you can take it any of those days. You have to schedule your midterm and your final. And there's two options for scheduling that. You can do it through ProctorU, which if we go, let's go back to your course. If you go to the ProctorU tab, that'll take you to an online proctoring service where you would take it from your computer. They would have to be watching you through your video camera on your computer, and they kind of proctor you that way. The other way would be to take it at an Ivy Tech. And you can take it at any Ivy Tech in the state. So obviously, if you're an out-of-state student, you have to use ProctorU. That's your only option, or drive to Indiana. If you're in Indiana, you would go to the My Ivy tab and go to Student and Course Info under Student. So Student tab, Course Info. And then if you look over here, you see Testing Center and Services. You click on that, and that takes you to the Testing Center site. And then from here, you can schedule your testing appointment online, or you could always call them. So contact your local center. You can pick what center you want, and then they should have phone numbers and whatnot that you can call. So either do it online or call, but you want to schedule your test as soon as possible. All the information is there right now. You can schedule your midterm and your final today. So you want to do that early and not late, because if you wait too long, the testing center fills up and you have to get a time that you don't want, or you have to go to a campus you don't want to go to. So please do that as soon as possible. All right, so another thing I want to point out here is if we go to, let's go back to the right page here. Let's go to here. There are some discussions. Those will show up in the syllabus and whatnot. And the second one is the one that I want to kind of focus on here a little bit. So it talks about the syllabus and the testing, and I want to make sure we're all very clear on how testing works. So there's all these different questions here. What is the last day to withdraw? What are the possible midterm exam dates, possible final exam dates? 2 ways to contact instructor, and any questions. So if you want to know the information for this, a lot of that is found on the calendar. So let's go ahead and click on calendar. And the last day to withdraw, this attendance date is if you don't show up, you get dropped automatically. The last day to withdraw will be right here on the drop deadline, July 14th. When it says what dates can you take the midterm, you can do that any day on the 25th through the 1st of July. 25th through the 1st, midterm week. Final week is any time from the 23rd to the 29th. Okay, so a lot of people get confused and think, well, I have to take it on the 29th because that's what it says in the calendar. Well, the calendar shows the due date for it, which is this is the final date for it. But it's any one of these 7 days you can take it. If you're taking it at a testing center, they're probably not going to be open on Sunday. Sometimes on Saturdays, so you're going to want to do it during the week at the testing center. And most people will try to sign up for Friday. So if you want a Friday date, schedule that today. Get it done with. All right, so that's kind of the big thing there. Another thing I have to point out before we finish is just the whole idea of cheating. A lot of people, when they're taking the test online, they get used to using computers to help them answer problems. There's lots of matrix solvers online that people use, and sometimes they forget that when they're testing, they can't use those matrix solvers. We can't watch you when you're doing your homework and quizzes, but on the exam, if you go and use online matrix calculators, they will report you and you will get a 0. So I would try to not use those online matrix solvers because you don't want to get used to it and then forget on the exam that you can't do that. Your graphing calculator should be able to do everything you need to do, and make sure you learn how to use that tool. All right, so that's basically a rundown of the course. In terms of contacting me, the 2 things I would say for that would be come to office hours or send me an email. The phone number is a way to contact me as well, but it's not going to be the most efficient way. So email first, or come to office hours first, and email second. Those are 2 just as good options. So that is all I can think of that you would need to know. If there's any other questions you have, please feel free to contact me. Check the website, at least every week, because I'm going to post an announcement the first of each week to kind of get you ready to go. I won't do one for the first week because you've already listened to me for 13 minutes on this video. But what I would say is, here's the stuff that's due. 2 homework assignments, 2 discussions, and 4 quizzes. So make sure you get all that done by Sunday, June 10th. So thank you for listening and enjoy the semester.